As a child, I always wanted to be a movie star. Into my adolescence and teenage years, I found myself writing stories, screenplays, and lyrics, in the hopes that one day, my stories would be showcased on the silver screen. Nearly 10 years ago, I embarked on a journey as a first-time filmmaker with my feature film, The Factory. Boy, oh boy, has things changed. Over the past 10 years, I am proud to say I'm an award-winning filmmaker with a successful team and business under my belt. Yet, this year, I had challenged myself like none other for my next feature film, Mantra. Mantra is not only the most spiritual and brutal project I have ever written, but it also will take more for the cast and crew to overcome and making sure that this project is the best we've ever done. Over the past few months, we have worked throughout the elements of winter, summer, and other harsh conditions to make sure that this project is truly one to be remembered. Being both the writer and director, or director and actor in the film, it's always an interesting dynamic, and I've done it time and time again. I love both aspects. I love being in control of all the creative process that goes behind making a movie, but yet again, I love portraying different characters. And this film required a lot from actors and actresses. We went over the process of many months. We were working with a micro budget. So originally I was not planning to portray the role of Nolan. I was going to do a bit part in the film and really focus my efforts on directing. But after reading the script a few times, I'm like, I think I could really do this justice. So there you have it. I ended up being in both front and behind the lens.
What exactly was our mission again, Nolan? Refresh my cloudy memory.
Once again being counteractive. I'll waste just this last bit of time for you. Our mission is to collect samples off this planet, ultimately in search of water. Water meaning life. This is the planet where the living specimen Dr. Kern showed us originated.
Scene 9, Dreams. Exterior, camp, night. The crew all sleeps around the fire, wrapped in their silver space blankets while gazing at the stars.
You know, it's hard to say because this is the first time I've really done. I mean, I had a small part in the last movie in front of the camera, which was fun, but you know, it was like just for the one part. And I remembered that I had a good time doing that, so I was like, you know, I want to try again. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the process of acting and like interacting with other crew members and pretending you're in a place that doesn't exist, and you know, reacting to creatures that you can't actually see. It's actually a really cool experience, I have to say. But I do still love filming. I love every part of it. Being behind the camera, working on lighting, doing the actual filming. I mean, you name it. Like a lot of us here, we've all had multiple hats to wear, multiple roles to fill, and yeah, it's really hard to say. I like them both.
All right, I see the man here. Stringing it up something.
On the Mantra set. Ain't no pussies here.
Yeah. Well, we can walk while we can. And hi, Doug. Hey. How you doing? The director of photography.
What's up?
What's up?
We're making lights happen.
Yeah. So,
the bugs are crazy tonight, I'll tell you that much.
No doubt about it. You should spray down there, bud. You know that.
I will.
So, as you're connecting, man, it's like long time, my friend. Director.
you know.
Let's see how these bastards work.
Hopefully this is my costume. I think it'll fit.
Hopefully it didn't shrink.
It did. Some spots. Chris is looking at fucking Keith is looking at me like, shit, I can't fit my balls in them already.
Yeah, I'm gauging this all off of you.
We have a similar nut level.
This is not gonna work for me.
Be courteous and zip your captain up.
I might be zipped up by someone. Hopefully it didn't melt it. Moving?
If not, I can sew it shut. There you go.
I just need to use some elbow strength.
Thanks.
Do a little turn for us, gentlemen.
Brought me to that point where I can use it for her. You all better back the fuck up. I have no idea what's gonna happen when this activates. All right, ready? 3, 2, 2.5, 1. Blast off, motherfucker!
I don't see anything.
What?
Holy shit, you actually did it!
Well, since I played in front of the camera, I like that now. I like both. I like everything to do with the movie theater, with the movie. I like the behind the scenes. Now I'm trying to get into front of the scenes, so it's gonna be interesting to see what comes up next.
Well, in the beginning, I was drawn to the storyline. I love a good storyline, and the storyline intrigued me. It felt like a X-Files type of episode. And I was drawn to the science fiction part of it and the special effects, and it was a good opportunity to join a cast of professionals that had such a strong storyline to develop.
Because I love doing movies and, working on movies.
Goes without saying, Charles Marinaro, 2 words, man. I worked with this guy many times. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He is a go-getter. He does some great projects, and I'm always on board for those. And plus, I mean, who gets to do a movie about being in space? So that was another one. When he said we were going to have spacesuits, I was like, oh, I'm in for this one.
Because I've worked with the crew previously, the director and the writer, in other projects, and I really enjoy being a part of their work. And also, I really like the script.
A long time ago, I was asked to be in a movie with Charles, but I didn't get to do it because I had conflicting time. I had church at me on that day, and I couldn't do it. But I always wanted to do it. And then when Charles sent me a message, hey, will you want to be in this production? Without even reading the script, he sent me the script, but sure. I like to help you anyway.
Things need to get done. Sometimes, especially with the background casting, sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm still talking to people. Because you need all different types of people, young, old, whatever. People who are willing to give their all when they're on camera.
I think the most challenging part of this production, if not any production, is others' commitment and the schedule. Accommodating everyone's personal needs and scheduling is nearly impossible on an indie film. You're dealing with a production like this that's going over, 4 or 5 months, and you need to have these people committed for each weekend for 4 or 5 months. And people have weddings, they have life events happening. We're living in the world of COVID, so now people have sick days off from production, which we had. So yeah, keeping the schedule in mind is very important, and it comes with so much stress. It's not even real.
Timing. Just making sure everybody gets to places on time, making sure the weather is right, making sure that the season is right. Like there's so many things that have to do with just timing in this film, because we're filming in the winter and in the summer. And luckily, like for the winter scene, all the snow melted, and then we got the snow a couple days right before the actual shoot, and it was like it saved our butt. Regular, typical New York winter for you. But again, it's all comes down to the timing for it. That has been a big challenge.
Because we've worked together in the past, there was already chemistry. And like for the people that were kind of new to the production, they kind of just fell right in. It really was a great experience. And honestly, who doesn't love a sci-fi? And that's what Mantra is. It's a sci-fi thriller with the focus on the main character's psyche as he kind of figures out the loss between two different realities. It's a pretty cool script. I definitely loved it.
I for one, I like the process of a production. All of the logistics is always a challenge. Dealing with the weather, and in this era of a pandemic, it's a lot of moving parts trying to get everything together. So just the process of the whole production is a challenge in itself. You have materials that need to be put in place, and then you have people that you're trying to get in place. And the logistics of it is a lot of moving parts, and it presents a challenge, but it's all awarding at the end of it when it all comes together and you have a finished product.
Definitely remembering lines and then trying to figure out how to express my emotions, and then try not to be forgetful, or I guess both of it all together.
The most challenging for me was the winter scene with the ice and the snow and the very cold feet and the out of breath and the dehydration and the other things that go along with making a production and making it real.
Well, when we shot the spaceship scene, we were in close quarters. It was somewhat anxiety-provoking. It was exciting. It was dangerous. It felt real. We were crammed in this little basement somewhere in the corner of Sullivan County shooting this scene, and that was pretty intense. I enjoyed that.
You have to be prepared. I recommend trying to find people who love this as much as you do, right? Because who you know is so important. Who you know is key. Because if you're just one single person trying to make something, everything falls on you. But if you can have multiple people who can work in unison together with different work that they need to do, it makes things a lot easier.
This was my first time ever doing any acting or, playing any background role. And I can tell you that the crew, the cast, everyone made me feel so welcome and so at home. It was like a dream come true. I enjoyed everything all the props, everything that they had. It was just so amazing.
Oh, okay. I'll stop putting more in because I think
that's
that's
good?
enough.
And then, why are they on me?
Because that looks good.
It looks fucking stupid. It looks fucking retarded. Shit. Oh my god.
Alright.
Nice.
I'm slipping it out of the tub. So, am I leaning down way too far here?
No, I think you're good.
It's a video.
Oh!
Sorry. Readjust, because I feel like I'm sliding out of the tub.
Where's the boom?
I know, at one point,
In
I'm
the
going to
corner.
set underneath the water. I can't read that myself.
Is it in the corner?
What's that?
I already...
Let go. There's no more pain left to fight.
It wasn't bad.
Why are you laughing? He's such an asshole.
Grab the cake. We gotta bring it. Got it? Who's going to? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michael.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you.
Make a wish.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. I'm gonna eat that. Now throw it at him. All right.
Fucking ball shot. Back off me! Ball shot.
No one ever said making a movie is easy. Over the past few weeks now, we're running on practically no sleep. We're eating when we can, and at times we're using the outdoor environment to use the restroom. I guess that's what making a movie is when you're in the middle of nowhere. But to me, this is an entire adventure. For those method actors out there that want to really feel what it feels to be stranded on a rock, floating in space, I can tell you, you're not going to get any better training than the set of Mantra, because it surely was a ride. And at some days, it was a ride from fucking hell.
How did you get involved with, or what did Charles say to you about this movie?
Did he threaten your life?
Well, I cannot confirm nor deny that. No, I mean, he asked me to be on the crew here, and it's kind of not a coincidence, but kind of happened all of a sudden. It was cool, you know. Originally, I was going to be an assistant, but Stefan moved, and he took the role, and he's been killing it. And here I am. This is all the stuff.
My question to you, what is your passion for photography?
I like making cool images, man. Telling stories through pictures, you know?
Yeah, so I am playing an alien in the film Mantra, and I am actually the queen of a civilization that's on a different planet, and I have like magical powers. So you have to kind of see what happens. Am I a good guy or am I a bad guy? We shall see.
Yes. So go ahead.
Eggers doesn't really ever get a chance to call the shots, and I think it's a power struggle between himself and Nolan. I think both individuals have a certain expertise in the field of their liking, and I think Eggers kind of wants to lead the team in a way he thinks would be good, and Nolan has his way, but Nolan's also dealing with other things. So in a way, you kind of sympathize with Eggers. He's trying to be lighthearted. He's getting shot down. He tries to help as much as he can, and he's criticized for it. And then you also have Nolan. It's almost like a yin and yang.
Ames is a guy who, again, has been around the block a few times. This is not his first mission. He's had several missions and he's survived. So not only does he feel lucky, he feels blessed. So I think he feels deep down that he's on a mission from God. Whatever happens is all in God's plan. And that's how he rolls.
Your heavy grief. We can help carry the weight of your tears if you can carry ours. We are you.
How can you understand my language?
The other one has too many fucking problems. This one's a little easier too. Basically, you turn it on and let it rock.
I think the best way to get into character for me is constantly being familiar with the material. I slack like any other actor out there. I don't want to throw anybody into the bus that doesn't read their lines frequently. You know, life happens. But I think for me, the best way for me to get into character is really knowing the lines and having rehearsals with the other co-stars. That has been extremely beneficial for me. Building chemistry with who's in the scene with me. If there's no chemistry at all, it doesn't say you have to be best buddies. But it's really hard to portray respect, love, intimacy if you don't feel comfortable around the person. So this production in particular, I had to feel really comfortable with my co-stars because, you know, whether we're being romantic, whether we're fighting, whether we're saving each other's lives, I feel like there has to be some level of trust and, you know, connection.
I tend to drown myself in the storyline. I place myself in that reality of the script, of the storyline, and of the scene itself as if it was really my life. And this is really happening, and this is really what's going on. My years of working in the service anyway, the script isn't too far off from what might really be going on out there. So I have things in the back of my mind that kind of just plug right in. So yeah, I tend to morph reality and the fiction together in my mind, and I'm able to place myself right into the scene.
I personally just try to be myself. I mean, I get angry. Sometimes characters get angry. I just play that, or sad, or whatever it is. I just try to be myself. I don't want to be somebody else. It sounds unusual because it's a movie and you are playing another person, but I want that person to take on my persona, put myself into it.
I kind of look at it like when I was a kid, I used to play like any other kid would pretend, like play with imaginary people, or pretend you're a superhero or whatever it is. And whatever story it was, I would always put myself into that role fully and just really feel like I could almost see what I was imagining and talk to people who weren't there, like just had a very vivid imagination. And so I kind of use that same sort of way of doing it. So like if I'm playing somebody who's upset, I just try to think of some stuff from my personal life, you know, just to get it prompted, but just try to really feel what that person would be feeling in that situation and just try to pretend like their reality is yours. I guess they call it method acting, I don't know.
Reading the night before, definitely I'm practicing how the video sets, and reading like before we film and the night before.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I mean, it was something that I never did before. It was totally unexpected, but we all was in character that night. I think everything went out right, went well, and I think we did a wonderful job.
Well, you have to create a backstory for your character, and you know, think about what makes them tick. And a lot of times, I use my own personal experiences, being a method actor like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and the rest of my good friends. You know, method actor, you pull from your own experiences and your own feelings and your own emotions. So you imagine yourself in these scenarios. Now, I've never been to space in real life. So that I had to sort of create in my mind, what would this be like? But, you know, I've been on, on planes and helicopters, so you kind of think about that living on the edge type of moment and how does this feel? You kind of try to bring that to the scene, bring that to your character.
Well, for the more dramatic scenes, I like to pull from my past and sad moments and stuff like that to really get myself worked up. And all the other scenes, I basically, this character looking back and pulling what I can pull for myself. And if I can't pull anything, I like to imagine how I would act in real life and pull from that imagination.
That's funny, because the one thing that made me get into character is that if you notice, sometimes even when I'm serious, because my cheekbone, I look like I'm smiling. And Charles was directing and he noticed and he said, "You're smiling." I said, and I thought to myself, no, I'm not. But something happened on the set that day that made Charles a little bit upset. And I looked at his face and he looked visibly upset. And then I knew what he was upset about. And I looked around and I realized that all I had to do was mimic his face. So because I wasn't supposed to be upset at this moment, I was supposed to be upset. So when I saw his face, how he was upset, then I went into character and I started feeling what he was feeling, and then automatically I made the face.
Mantra is a spiritual journey that spans a lifetime, many, many lifetimes, and explores the galaxy within yourself.
Mantra is 2 missions. The first mission is what we call fucked, okay? Then the second mission is the cleanup mission. We're the ones that are coming behind. They're gonna save the human race. Now, I don't want to give it away, but it doesn't turn out that well.
I think they'll like it. Like, it's like a sci-fi horror thriller thing, and I think it's entertaining.
Basically, the endless revolution of lives in time. Just almost like a reincarnation loop sort of thing. And I would say it's a roller coaster.
Oh, it's kind of like a head fuck. Basically, you don't really know what's going on, but you do at the same time, and little bit by little bit, you're putting all these pieces together, and by the end, you kind of figure out what, the puzzle you're looking at is. But it's fun the entire time, and it's really new and innovative, and it's enjoyable. It was an enjoyable read, so I'm assuming it's an enjoyable watch.
The unexpected.
It is a dream, and it's a dream about the future and the past and the present. So it includes anything you could want. It's a group of people who get together and they're dedicated to the purpose. They enjoy their work and they put out a damn good production.
I think the chemistry was phenomenal between myself and the co-stars. We had a great time on set. We joked around behind, scenes, shared many laughs and good times, but we also knew when it was time to get serious. And I think everyone respected those moments of depth and emotion. Everyone was the tone changed in the room when you had those different scenes. Except Stefan Bauman, of course, he kept on fucking around. No, but it was we had a really great time. I think, like I said, we built a rapport with each other, so we kind of knew where we were going. Especially with a lot of the action scenes. We have a lot of intense scenes in the film, whether it's like running through abandoned theaters or fighting for our lives in the woods, where, health scares potentially can arise. We're dealing with different, healths of different actors and crew members. So you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. And I think together we were truly a team.
I think it's good. I think we all connect good, and we're all friendly and work together.
Because I knew some of the co-stars already, the chemistry is pretty good. Like some of the people, we've been joking around on Facebook and things like that, and I have worked with them before, so we get along well. Maybe 1 or 2 people I didn't know, but that turned out to be okay.
Pretty good. I really like working with everybody here, so it's when you have a good cast, it makes it a lot easier to play off. I mean, not that I've done a whole lot of acting, but luckily this is a good cast. So.
I think I get along with pretty much everybody on set. I haven't found anyone who I really can't stand. I would have had a discussion with them or somebody in authority if I thought so. It's important because, as I said to Charles, in the past, we're family, and that's the way we should act toward each other.
Most, but not all of them, I've worked with before, and now that we've been working together, I'm always able to get along with most anybody. Even actors. We know actors can sometimes be weird and strange people, but I get along with them. So I enjoy the cast, I enjoy the big scenes, the little scenes, I enjoy my little team. my team of astronauts. So it's good. It's fun. It's always a good time.
I mainly worked with Nolan, and I think we did pretty good. I think we did pretty convincing chemistry, and coming off as a married couple of several years.
I think the audiences will be shocked in the conclusion of Mantra, but I also think this is one of those films, maybe if I'm lucky, this is one of those films that may require 1, 2, or 3 watches to fully grasp what you just observed. And that's what I hope. I always loved movies like that. Nolan's character is based on one of my favorite directors, Christopher Nolan. And a lot of his films require multiple viewings to fully understand, to fully appreciate the work you just watched. Because a lot of studying, a lot of research went into making this project. And I think it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube or puzzle. Every time you spin it, you might get a different take on the film. And that's what I really hope that the audience will get from it.
Well, I think a lot of people will be surprised to see like an independent film going into space. So that first and foremost, I think, is going to be exciting for the audience. And seeing how these two teams play out, what they do, how they do it, how it begins, how they get to where they are, and of course how it ends is going to be surprising for everybody.
I think they'll like it. I think there's a little bit of everything for everyone in it. Because I think that there's so many different kind of characters, and they go through all these different stages that at some point or another there will be someone or something that you can relate to. A scenario, a person, and hopefully you'll enjoy the ride.
I think audience will like it. They'll love it. In fact, they'll feel themselves in it. They'll know that they have a past, they have a future, and dreams can come true, just like this dream is coming true for the entire cast.
I think that they'll be impressed because we're doing a lot for an independent film with a really small budget. We built a freaking spaceship. We built a spaceship. We're like doing astronaut scenes out in the snow to make it look like we're in another world. There's running through abandoned, or not quite abandoned, but just about theaters, they're in the style of vaudeville theater. Running through that, like with a boom mic and a camera guy and the actors in the scene, just it's all really exciting.
People can definitely expect there to be extreme brutality in this film. Not saying this is a snuff film of any sort or this is gore porn. It is psychological horror in a way, science fiction. But I think it also plays with our emotions on things that we're most afraid of. Things like loss, letting go, power, obtaining power. These things we all deal with on a daily basis, whether we're at work and we're trying to get that new promotion, and someone else comes and swoops and takes it from you. There's a lot of different moments like that in the film that kind of will throw the audience for a loop, so you can expect this to be one of those films that will catch you off guard.
Really a thrilling ride. Keeps you on your toes.
That they're not gonna see at the end. They're not gonna see anything coming. They're gonna think it's this way, but it's different.
They can expect an exciting journey into space to a place you've never been before. That at first you might want to think that this is a great vacation spot, but I don't want to give anything away. But you might want to stay on Earth.
Oh, I believe they're gonna enjoy it. It's something totally different from what you've seen, and you're definitely gonna enjoy it.
So, your brain to be blown.
That's a good question because there's suspense, there's love and attention, there's teamwork, people working together, and it's all rolled into one to accomplish the goal, the mission.
The energy with the mantra set, completely electrifying, I can tell you that. It was positive, it was hopeful, it was, you really had to bring your A game. You had to be positive because we all had specific jobs to do.
You don't have to just do one thing like people do. You do whatever you can to help the entire production. So here I am, an executive producer, and I'm also the background casting, and people that I'm a person who tries to find a lot of things when the set needs it. Like big chairs or a pregnant belly that you tie around, and there's so many other things. But you know what? When you work anywhere, whether it's a movie or anywhere, never think it ain't my job. Everything is your job.
I think the energy is pure electric, ecstatic. People are excited to be on set for the most part. Those that are excited typically are those that do well. They want to be there. They appreciate the camaraderie and teamwork. And so it's like seeing family. It's like seeing your best friends. We're at that age now. I mean, not all of us, but I'm at that age where you kind of choose your family in a way. You're around people that do things that, are your dreams, that are your aspirations. So when you get into a group with like-minded people, you start getting creative ideas. You start thinking of the next big project, the next big event, and that's so exciting. And making a movie is like, we're making a dream come true. We're making this little work baby together. It's our baby.
It was pretty good energy. We all really enjoyed. I think we all enjoyed working with each other a lot. So it was fun. It was I would say summer camp for a little bit, like sleepaway camp. Every weekend you just go and hang out with a bunch of friends and do a bunch of things.
Congratulations to the family. You guys did a great job. I never thought that some of amazing talent, that raw talent that you brought out in the production, it's totally amazing. And I'm glad we got you.
I love making movies. Doesn't matter how the set is, as long as you have a vision, right? And you understand that vision. And in this particular film, I think that there's a message to it. Now, I gotta admit that because of the things that I was going through, my daughter passing in the middle of this film was a little difficult for me. But having the cast show up to my daughter's funeral, and the support that I got from them made it a lot more tolerable. So when I went back to set after my daughter passed, that he gave me something to grab onto. And the reason I say that is because my daughter was a fan, of Charles' movie. And the last time that we had, was when she came to see the last movie of To Injustice. And she became a fan, not because I was there, because she truly enjoyed it. And I saw her, clicking like every time that Charles was on with his podcast. And I know that she will enjoy, she wanted me to make other movies with me. So that's one of the things that really made me, that made me feel like I was doing it for her, So it just turned out to be a good thing. And I just don't know how to thank the crew for the film, for making me feel, wanted or needed. I think that was a good thing. And wherever my daughter is, I hope that she's watching this movie, enjoying it.
You know, take it all in. In a few weeks, this is all over. Isn't it weird? Like you spend almost a year writing, planning, orchestrating, and then you come to this epic conclusion of Mantra, and we're getting there. I mean, we got a lot of work still ahead. We got 3 more weeks, but a majority of the film is in the can. A lot of the action is in the can. A lot of the pivotal moments is in the can. So right now it's like a catharsis as a writer, as a director. You just sit here and you're like, man, it's becoming a reality. Kind of, it was almost a little emotional. You know, you sit back and you really think about every production's different, but we don't realize it in the moment that like these experiences you have, you know, they don't last forever. And a lot of people take advantage of that, and they realize, oh, they act in a scene, or they were part of this really exciting moment, and they don't realize that it's a once in a lifetime experience.